Good evening, everyone. Hope you had a fantastic day. I'm Scott Molchan with the Million Dollar Landscaper, and today I'm joined by Ryan Reber of Busy Busy. Welcome, Ryan. Thanks for being on the show.
Hey, Scott. Thanks for having me on. Excited to be here.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's been a little bit of time since you've been on here. Um, Excited to have you on here today because one of the things we've been talking about is tracking your data and how and why it's so important in the landscape business. But before we get into that, you mind sharing a little bit about Busy Busy, what it's all about, and where people can find out a little bit more about it?
Absolutely. To just go really high level, Busy Busy it's an app made for construction companies, made for landscape companies, and it's for tracking time to a job, but also just capturing time in, time out for employees, and makes it really easy to capture job costing, photos, and notes, or any type of reporting. So it makes it easy to go back, look at these jobs, and see uh, where you're making money, where you're not making money. And so that's what we do at Busy Busy. We're founded by a guy who comes from the construction industry, Isaac Barlow, the CEO, who's been on the Million Dollar Landscaper podcast a handful of times. Came from the landscape industry, the excavation industry, and then decided to build Busy Busy 10, 12 years ago, and here we are today. And easiest way to find us is just on busybusy.com. Just go check out the website, and if it makes sense, book a demo.
There you go. And one thing I will point out, guys, there's a couple different levels inside of Busy Busy. There's the free level and there's the paid version. There's definitely many benefits, and you'll see some tonight of using the paid version. You mind just sharing a little bit of just a few quick differences between the two, Ryan?
Yeah, so the free version is great for companies that are in that growth stage. So typically like 1 to 4 employees. The main difference is it's not going to have all of the features that the Pro product has. So like the reporting functions only last 7 days. So all the reports hold 7 days of data, whereas the Pro version holds all of your information, all of your data ongoing. It doesn't ever go away. The Pro version has the like photos and notes capability. Uh, we have like a daily health check on the Pro version. So a couple of additional GPS features. So it just depends on what the company is looking for. So we'll have companies that have 2 employees who want the Pro product just for photos and notes or anything else. And then we'll also have companies that have 5, 7 employees on free. It just depends on what they're looking for.
Nice. So definitely check it out. I will say if you guys use the link that's somewhere up above here, you click on that link and you mention the Million Dollar when you sign up. You mention the Million Dollar Landscaper. You actually get 3 months for free. So you have nothing to lose, everything to gain. So I encourage you guys to at least go check it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Ryan, why is it important for landscapers to start tracking their data, and what can they do with this data?
Sure, and it's something Isaac is always saying is you can't improve what you don't track. And I think that really is why it's so important to track our data in that we don't know if we don't have insight, if we don't know what's going on in our jobs, which jobs are making money, which jobs are losing money. You can't improve. You can't go back and say, okay, great, here's exactly how we did, and now we know how to make it better for the next job. In fact, I was talking to a landscaper a while back now, but he was able to, with Busy Busy, we have a budgeting feature. So he's using the budgeting feature on saying, okay, allocated this many hours to this job, this much labor costs to this job. Now I can track it live and see if I'm going to be profitable or not. But with using the reporting tool, he was able to know exactly what he was doing on these jobs. So he started using it for the estimating part of his company. So uh, as he got fine tuned on it, he was able to know exactly what he could estimate for each type of job, how much money he would make, and there were jobs that he just stopped even bidding on. He was just like, oh yeah, like I'm not going to make money at that. I'll let somebody else lose money on that job. Um, so I think that is where it's critical to track our data and know our numbers.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And this is something I find that many landscapers just don't do. They don't track their numbers. They don't do job costing because it does take time. It does take energy. Sometimes we're burned out at the end of the day. If we're hustling and bustling all day, we don't have time for it. We don't want to make time for it. But it is so important. Like you said, you don't know if you're making money on the job and you don't know how to prove it. You could be
Yeah.
losing money in every single job. And at the end of the year, like, where the hell's the money at?
Yeah.
So it's important to have some kind of tool, and it's nice having something like Busy Busy that can actually automate it and make it very simple for you.
Yeah. Especially, and I keep hearing whispers of a slowdown. I don't know if we've actually seen anything slow down, but it's extremely important. Like you said, is when we have a booming economy, you don't. There's a lot of companies, they're just tracking it by the bank account. So they run 5 jobs in that 1 month, and there's more money than there was before in the bank account, so they know they made money. They don't know which jobs made money, which jobs lost money, if any lost money. But that's how they're tracking it, and you can get away with that when you have a booming economy. But if it does at all slow down, it's the companies that know their numbers, know exactly what they need to get out of a job to be profitable. Those are the companies that are going to not just survive, but thrive and put all the other companies out of business.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing I always tell people is that we're basically renting out our employees. We're everything we do is time. So you're basically selling the time of your employees. You're selling the time of your equipment. The time to install whatever materials. So
Yeah,
tracking that time is so important. And if you can, you estimate the job to take 4 hours and it takes 8 hours, and you're not tracking that. And you're like, you can't improve on it next time. When you come to that similar job, you can say, oh, I did 8 hours, or I need to estimate it for 8 hours. But if you didn't
yeah,
track that, you don't know. And you're continuing doing it for four or estimating for four, and you're just losing money. So again, it goes
yeah.
back, just be able to track that data. And,
Agreed.
and you mind sharing a little bit of like how people can do this in Busy Busy?
Yeah, and I'll even go ahead and share my screen here if I can hit the right button. Here we go.
So one thing, well, I guess while you're bringing this up, I was talking to Ryan a little bit before the show. I actually had one of member of the landscape business group reach out to me and was talking about Busy Busy. And one of the questions they had is that they have some Hispanic workers, and they're wondering if the app can be used by somebody that that is Hispanic, and if it would be translated into Spanish. So, Ryan, you mind telling a little bit about that? What you told me?
Yeah. So the app here that I've just got mirrored onto my computer here. So this is just my phone. So the app, it does read in Spanish as long as the employee's phone or the person's phone is set to Spanish as the language for the phone. So if I went through and changed my phone language to Spanish, and let me hide that. So like all of this information on the app would be coming through in Spanish.
Nice,
So it does make it really easy. And one thing more to note with that is that we have when a company decides to go with Busy Busy with the Pro product, and like if they need an integration to QuickBooks or whatever they need, we'll help them create their account, train in their employees on Busy Busy, help build that or set up their integration with QuickBooks or whatever accounting software they're using, and really hold their hand through that whole process. And one of the things that we do have as well is we have multiple Spanish speakers as well, both native and non-native. That if a company, if the main language they speak is Spanish, we can help get that training done in Spanish and facilitate that.
nice. That's awesome. That's awesome. You guys are willing to train people on it, because that was part of the other part of the question was, you know, are they going to be able to get their team to actually get on board and do this? And if you have somebody else
Mhm.
who can do it for you, that's even better.
Yeah, it makes that transition a lot smoother, and it's trying to help everybody get going and being able to ask those questions. So rather than having to go back and forth with us here at Busy Busy, I'm like, okay, I had an employee ask this question. We can get everyone sat down, or mostly everyone sat down, get all the questions answered, show them how they're going to be using the app for how the company wants them to use the app, and then yeah, then they're pretty much good to go. And and if any questions come up after, they still have that onboarder to help get them and answers to questions and help them continue to work on busy.
Awesome. Awesome. Sorry, I didn't mean to take away from what you're talking about there, but I thought it was a good opportunity to answer that question.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you brought it up. Uh, and so to jump into the app when it comes to employees tracking time and busy. Uh, so fundamentals here is grabbing, okay, what job am I on? Where am I working? What am I specifically doing? And this is where I can come in and I'll just grab an example here, and I can hit done, and I'm now clocked in. So as an employee, really simple to track my time, make sure I'm going to get paid for it. And then also on here though, as a supervisor or anything, I can come in here and I can just view, okay, so for the jobs we're working on this day, how many hours did we work on each job? Tyler Avenue jobs is a pretty big job here on our demo account. I can see who all worked on the job. So I have a ton of insight already. But then we also have the ability for supervisors, foremen to come in and even build like a daily project report. We have a lot of landscape companies, especially like installation companies, that really like this report. And what it does, and there's a couple of different reports. When I come to create this, there's a couple of different reports I can make, and companies can customize these. So if they're having like a safety meeting and they want to sign off from all the employees saying, yep, I attended the safety meeting, that's something that we can build as a report. If they want a daily report of, hey, I just want to know what happened at the job, and rather than making the poor supervisor fill out a form or a piece of paper for 20 minutes, they can just jump right into here. They can add a quick note to it, or even voice to text on what happened. They can add any photos that were taken on the job that day, or I'll just even snap a photo of my computer here. So I'll add that photo, and then it's going to grab all the information that we've already tracked on that job. So who all worked on it, what we did at the job, any equipment that was used. So I can go ahead and preview this and see what the weather was, the date, the photo progress on that job, who worked on the job, and all this information. And it looks like I'm the only one that's worked on the job here. I can sign it as that supervisor, verifying that it's accurate. Everything is good to go. And I'll go ahead and submit that. And so makes it really simple for that supervisor foreman to capture a daily report. And then in the office here in the dashboard, I can come in here and I can see, okay, I want to see what happened on the Tyler Avenue job. That looks like it's Jake's crew. What happened? Here's my photos. And then I got employees who worked on the job. Did everyone fill out their daily sign off of, was their time accurate? Were they injured? Did they follow the break policy, especially for California companies? Their total time, what we did, equipment worked on. So it just gives a ton of insight into each job, while also making it a 2-second process for that foreman to capture that time. And I just did a whole bunch of talking. Scott, any thoughts on that, or anything additional clarity there?
No, I think this is awesome. One question I have is can you put like a report together that like, I know you have the ability to like show weather and stuff
Yeah,
and all that stuff. And can you like give this to a customer? Can you put something together that like shows the weather, some pictures and stuff like that, or no?
we can. And so let me hurry and pull back up my phone. I don't know if I have one. Here it is. So customer progress report. I actually do have one I could pull up.
Okay.
And so same thing. So I could drop any photos. I could add a bunch of notes on, hey, here's where we're at on this job. I got weather. I have an employee summary of who's been working on it. I can sign off on it saying everything is good to go. I can preview this report. And I don't have a ton of information because I didn't put any information in here, but this would be a report that then I can sign, verifying, hey, here's my supervisor's signature verifying all this information. And then I can share it via email or text right over to that customer as a, hey, here's your update for the week or for the day on what's happening on your project. And then I can also still submit that and save it internally for me.
So can that report be sent through text messages right off your phone, or is it, how's that shared?
Yep. Here, let me go all the way through. Sorry, I exited out too
Oh, you're
fast.
good. You're fine.
So if I preview this, and I'll even just really quick. So I'll grab a photo here. We should be done with the job here in the next week or so. So just throwing some random text in there.
Mhm.
Preview this report. So here's my report. I'll blow that up so it's a little easier to see. There's my photo, all my information. Again, I don't have any employees on this job specifically
Sure.
right now, or otherwise it would show that. And then I just hit share, pulls that up. I can send it as a text message. I can send it
Nice.
as an email. So I could even just pull this up right here and I can enter in the email subject and just email that right out.
That's awesome. Well, that's really nice for, I mean, multiple different ways. I can see it. Like if you're snow plowing, you can send this to a customer. Like if you work for a property management company, like here in Indiana, we sometimes deal with property management companies that are literally in Texas. So they don't really
Yeah.
know the weather, and they like sometimes will argue with you. So if you can take a picture of this and send it to them, say, "Hey,
So, like,
here it's been,
yeah,
the sidewalk's been cleared, the parking lot's been cleared. Here's a picture, here's a proof." So I think that's a huge feature there. And then also if you are dealing with clients that, maybe you're working on a vacation home, they're not there and they just want to see what's going on, you can give them these updates. I think this is a huge quick feature that you can do to keep your customers happy.
yeah, I agree, and I think that's a great use case for like snow removal, especially with like that weather's being pulled directly on the address and location that's put in for that project. So it
Mhm.
is. It's extremely accurate, and it'll pull that up, show it. So yeah, I think that's a great use case for that report. And like
Yeah.
you said, like it really is. It takes 2 seconds, and you keep everyone up to date and avoid any potential conflicts.
Yeah. I know it's a step away from the labor data and stuff that we're talking about earlier, but I just, when you brought it up, I thought those were some key points that you could be used for. So, and but no, going back to the data portion, that it is awesome that how quickly it is you can put a report together of what's going on with that project. I remember spending afternoons that, the crews would come back and I'm trying to figure out, how much time they spend on there so I can say, oh, you only have 20 some hours left on this job, but I'm having to do all the math, and and it just takes time. And
Yeah.
having this where it just automatically does it, that's huge. That's such a time saver, and it's an amazing tool.
Yeah, it makes life a lot easier, and it's easier for everybody. It's not just and that's one thing that we try and focus on is not just trying to make the office staff's life easier or the owner's life easier, but also that supervisor or foreman where they don't want to have to sit there and fill out that form anyway, or try and figure out how to get you what weather was, what the update was, and take 20
Mhm.
minutes to do it. Where it makes it easier for everybody. They can do it in a couple of seconds, and then the owner or whoever else can easily go in, grab those reports, and send them out.
Mhm. No, and this is good. Like you said, going back to, if you're looking at and doing job costings, you can easily pull up these reports and print it off. And then you, as the estimator or the owner or whoever, can look at these and compare. You see, well, you estimated again, you estimated for 40 hours, but the crew's got it done in 44 hours, 48 hours, whatever. And then you
Hmm.
can look at it and say, okay, well, did something go wrong? Was there improper training? Do I need to estimate a different time next time? There's a lot of different
Yeah,
things to go into it, but it's nice to have something that you can just pull up and do a report like this very easy. It makes it super simple.
totally agree. And you can even start to track like your different crews' efficiencies.
Mhm.
So being able to see, which crews are going faster, completing jobs faster, versus which crews may be lagging behind. And then, like you said, how can you help improve that? What needs to take place in order to improve it?
Yeah, that's awesome. And this busy also tracks your equipment's time, correct?
It does, yep. So I can come in here, and so as employees are tracking time, and actually I'll I'll go over here and I'll just show it even on the phone. So in this report, I can look at my projects, my total hours, but if I want to come in and look at, for example, this Tyler Avenue job, I can come in and see what equipment we use. So as employees clock in and clock out or switch from job to job, they can select what specific equipment they used. So like for today, I can see, okay, this cat was used, this tool truck was used inside this project today. And I can even really cool deep dive further and see, okay, well, who used it? Okay, so I've got Kyle Basaker who used it, and it looks like he just used it a couple times today. I can see all of his different clock ins with that piece of equipment. And it looks like Kyle was using this piece of equipment as well. So he's doing a ton of stuff on this job site today.
Uh,
But it makes it really easy, gives immediate insight into what's going on, what pieces of equipment are we using, especially when companies are um, invoicing or estimating with that how many hours are we going to use each piece of equipment.
Well, that's very true, and especially if you're doing a job that's time and material, you can pull up this report and then you can just do your math right from there. And and if they question it, you can print it off and show the customer, here's where the employees clocked in, clocked out. Here's the equipment they use. Like it's kind of no questions asked at that point.
Agreed. And really cool even is if I wanted to, so if I wanted to even just look at equipment again, I mean, I could pull this down into a CSV right here on my phone even and share it right from my phone. So here's
Nice.
that report, and it's show me the same exact thing that I was looking at earlier in that clean report. But here's my CSV file of if someone had a question like, hey, how long did we use this as a GC or even the customer, I can send this right to them again, just right in the form of an email. So I can drop this into an email and say, hey, here's what we did today. Here's how many equipment hours we had.
That's that's such a huge time saver.
Yeah, it makes it pretty easy. And that's our goal is to try and just simplify the processes that are happening right now inside of a company that are taking up time and also um, using paper.
Mhm.
And one new feature, if we have a couple more minutes,
Yeah.
I was going to just show is we have this new documents feature as well. And this documents feature is pretty cool. It allows companies to come in and upload if it's like design. So if a company is doing like a new installation for a lawn or they can come in here and drop in the designs of what's happening. They can drop in the contract of what was scoped out for this job. What are we doing? What are we not doing? I can give it a title. I can tie it right to that exact project, as well as leave a description. I can say who I want to give access to on this. So I just want my supervisors to be able to see this report or this document, I mean. And so then as an employee on my side, if I come back to my phone here, I can either come into the project and say, okay, I'm at the Tyler Avenue job. The guy I'm talking to has a question on the design. So I can come right to the documents inside this project. And this, for this example, I've got a cabinet shop drawing, but it'd be the same thing where I can come in and see, okay, well, I want to look at that design then. What are we doing? So I can come in here, break it down, zoom in, zoom out, and I'm just using my fingers to do this, but I can come in and see exactly what's going on. I can show it to him, say, no, this is what I got for you. This is what we're doing. And I can just continue to work right through this. And so it makes it really slick. Again, like I don't have to worry about if there's a question on the contract, I can pull it up right here on my
Mhm.
phone. I don't, as the employee, need to worry about saving it or
Yep.
keeping track of it. I can just pull it up right here in Busy, come find it and take care of it.
No, that's an awesome feature there. I can say like we when we would give our employees information, we give them the contract so they can see what's going in there. That way, if there's
Mhm.
any questions from the customer to the to the foreman, they can address it right then and there. And the drawing, like you pointed out, And some of the issues I know we had with the drawings, we try to keep them down to like 11, 8 by 11 piece of paper, unless they're obviously a big design.
Mhm.
But they would sometimes lose it or it get wet or blow out the truck. If it's
Yeah.
on your phone, they can just pull it up right then and there, and they never lose their phone. So they'll, they'll,
That's
so
right.
they'll have that with them all the time. So I think that's an awesome feature right there itself.
Yeah, it's been pretty fun having it finally get released. We've had a lot of companies ask for it, a lot of excitement internally about releasing it. We did. We just released it, I think, like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago.
Nice.
So
Nice.
pretty excited about it. And like you said, it's something that just makes sense for companies to rather than try and worry about getting their form in another piece of paper that they can lose, is just drop it on their busy app and let them find it whenever they need it.
That's awesome. No, that's a huge feature there. Let us know if anybody has any questions about anything. But I encourage you go check out the Busy Busy. Use the link we have above, MDL Coach /Busy Busy. Sign up, mention the $1 Million Landscaper podcast, and you can actually get it for 3 months for free. I highly encourage you guys check this app out. It's definitely going to help save your time. One question I did want to bring up to you, Ryan,
Yeah.
was something somebody else asked me the other day was, what is the big difference between busy in regards to the time portion versus like sure, mine's slipping here,
QuickBooks
between T
Time.
sheets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, big difference from us to them is that we're construction specific, where they're an app that's pretty generic. So they're built and made for they're trying to satisfy like hotels or restaurants as well as trades companies, and so that's, I think, the biggest difference is uh, like at the fundamental level, we're the same in that we both can capture time by employees and capture some GPS. The main difference is like our photos feature, for example. Our photos is going to track to the job, not the employee, because that's what's important. We want to know what the progress was on the job,
Mhm.
versus like with QuickBooks Time, it's tracked to the employee's time card. And a couple other things just off the bat is like our safety sign off. So that daily health check, making sure employees are not injured when they leave the job site. We have a couple of different GPS features that are a little more robust. That daily project report I just showed is something that they don't have, as well as like capturing and storing documents. In fact, and I'll go ahead and just reshare my screen really quick. We've actually got a comparison sheet that I could even just show as well. So uh, we do a 90-day money back guarantee as well. Couple of other different things, like we don't have any base fees or anything like that. Um, that daily report, like I already talked about. So there's just a handful of things that are different between Busy Busy and QuickBooks Time.
Mhm. Now, you also integrate with QuickBooks too, right? So the reports for timesheets can go directly into QuickBooks.
That's correct. Yeah. So everything that's captured in Busy Busy for time, as well as the time to each specific job, can be pushed right into QuickBooks. We do have an integration with QuickBooks Desktop, QuickBooks Online, and it's a both of those integrations are two-way integrations, meaning if a project is created in QuickBooks, that project is automatically synced into Busy Busy. Employees can track time to it, and when they do, that time's going to sync right back over into QuickBooks to that job.
Nice.
So it
Nice.
makes it simple.
So it's kind of a no-brainer to go with busy versus the T sheets, or what was formerly T sheets. So
Yeah,
yeah, there's definitely many more bonuses and pluses to having busy over the T sheets itself. So it's really a no-brainer. I was like I said, I was talking to them about that's what I didn't know for sure all this stuff, but I was like pointing out all the other key features that busy has for the money you're paying. So it's definitely makes it much easier than using something simple like T sheets.
yeah, yep, agreed.
All right, Ryan, was there anything else that you wanted to chat tonight about, or?
I think that gets us pretty well covered. I appreciate you having me on here, and again, just like you said, if you guys have any questions, use the link above. And also make sure that you mention you heard about us from Million Dollar Landscaper, and make sure you get that free month's free.
Mhm. Yeah, I encourage you guys to go check it out. It's a great app, and they have an amazing group of people over there to help you get you set up and get you going on it very quickly. It's not one of those apps you buy it and you're just like, oh, how do I do this? You don't have to spend the time doing it. They will help
Yeah,
you get it all set up. So I definitely encourage you guys to go check it out. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me anytime. I can put you in touch with Ryan, or I can help you out if I know the answer. I'll help you out. But definitely reach out, and we'll get you going on this awesome app.
yeah,
All right. All right, Ryan. Well, I appreciate you being on here tonight, and look forward to having you on back soon. And again, guys, reach out if you have any questions and let us know.
absolutely. Thanks, Scott. See
All right,
ya.
thanks, Ryan. Have a good night.
You too.